Stand by for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Take a look inside your dome.
Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow! Hey, great!
Look at it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen.
To the Saturday morning Stateline show.
It's a little bit scary. The good news is by opting to be an organ donor, you pretty much guarantee you'll never accidentally be buried alive. I'm breathing. I'm sitting upright. I'm Greg. He's Tom. Good morning, buddy.
Just let me add. Good morning. Just let me add this. It takes a lot of guts to be an organ donor.
Ba-doom. There you go. There's the truth right there for you.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad you're my friend, Tom. Today's the 30th day of July, the year 2022, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. I only have one canned line that I have to say. Oh, wait a minute. It's my turn.
Well, that's right. Episode 120 of the Saturday Morning Stateline show, Tom, in case you're keeping score at home. 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was, but I had 119. I must have missed one.
You missed one. Well, we had that June where we had to kind of, back-to-back weeks, and we kind of messed up.
Ah,
so,
there you go.
One planned, not one not so planned. We do have a big number of the week this week.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was going to say, I want to personally thank for what you did on Monday. You paid for golfing for all of us.
Oh, it was a great day.
Really special. It was really special. And
as we were walking off the 18th green, and I think I said that to all you guys. I said, you know what? It was a really special day when all of my number one picks to do this day with me all said yes and didn't waffle on me, and they all had their schedules clear and could join me. You were all my number one picks for the day, and they all said yes. So it made me feel very special that you guys were.
But I was number one, and like Coolidge was number 1, 2, and then Dwayne was I don't care about the other two. I was number 1, 1, right?
You were number 1, 1. That's right. And speaking of numbers. Our big number of the week this week is a really big number. You'll be happy to hear that it's 1.5 billion. That's with a B. 1.5 billion. Yeah. And this week's answer will be buffet or bags. No. Let me see. Buffet or bags. Let me get that right. Buffet or bags. 1.5 billion. We'll give you the answer before the end of the show. At last check, our score was 8-5. Tom made a step forward last week, and you making Joann nervous.
Well,
that big lead she has got cut down. So we'll see if it makes it all the way to a race to 10. Tom was the winner last week. We can call your golf day your breakfast, right? That was kind of breakfast. We were golfing in the morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lots to get to this week. A lot of shout outs, and hopefully our special guest will be joining us here shortly. Hopefully she's awake. I know she's very busy, excited with her play. Ellen Mahan is going to be joining us this morning. She's directing Mary Poppins, which is being performed in Byron at the Byron Civic Theater. They perform on the stage at Byron Middle School. And so Mary Poppins getting rave reviews in Byron, and you get 2 more chances to catch them tonight at 7 and tomorrow afternoon at 2. ByronParks.org is a website where I believe you can order tickets online or just get them at the door. Shout outs this week. I'm going to start my shout outs. Usually I try to go back to the beginning of the week, but I'm going to go right to last night. We were hoping to see Mary Poppins last night, but I had a showing that popped up, so I couldn't get to Byron in time to see the show. So after my home showing, my wife and I went out and checked out the brand new pizza place in New Milford, which is, they're not advertising yet. They did this, what's called a soft opening. Can you remember the last time you've been to a business that had a soft opening, Tom? It's one of those things that maybe you remember walking into a business where, like,
Yeah,
especially in radio, you probably
I can. Yeah, I can. We've done remotes from places with soft openings.
It's like, hey, this business opened last week, but the real opening is today with all the advertising. Well, the soft opening happened last night for Frankie's Pizza. Frankie's Pizza Subs and Slots is opening in New Milford. Their harder opening, if you will, the real opening, probably going to be in about 2 weeks. It might be next weekend, but I think it's going to be 2 weeks. But they're working through, like any new business, they've got to train their staff. They got to make sure that the food they're making is the way they really want it. That part is usually already pretty much settled. It's just the idea of making it a lot. There's one thing. Yeah. It's one thing to make a pizza, Tom. It's another thing to make 50 pizzas in a day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And make them all taste the same.
And
same. The ingredients are the same, but the measurements have to be there. The size of the pizza has to be there. The amount of sausage you put on it, the amount of pepperonis. So yeah, it's you got to have that consistency. Yeah.
It's all.
And believe it or not, here's one more final thing that most people don't even think about: the cutting of the pizza. You got to make equal slices. You can't do it like you do those frozen pizzas as you're, in a commercial break during ball game, and you're just going like this. Here, guys, dig. Guy gets a piece this big, and the other guy gets. That won't fly in a restaurant.
It's a trick.
Yeah,
it's an art form almost to learn how to do that and to do it the same way every time. So, yeah, that takes some doing. Let's see here. I'm gonna. While we're on the stream, I want to make sure. Can I copy that? Copy that. All right, we're working on the fly. So anyway, Frankie's Pizza, give it a shot. I did last night. I did their Hawaiian pizza, when I loved it. It was really, really good. And my wife did the Frankie's Everything Special pizza, but she did it minus the anchovies, which I thought was funny. Because right now she's really the only thing she can taste is salt, and I'm like, you're taking the salt out of this pizza and really that's all you can taste. I don't get it.
It's salty. Anyway. It's salty fish.
Yeah.
If I want to taste salt, I'll take the shaker and go like that. I don't want salty fish.
Okay. All right.
No, I always I learned the hard way a long time ago. Don't ever order an everything pizza without saying no anchovies. I said no mushrooms, not figuring they were going to put anchovies on it. No mushrooms. I got no mushrooms. I got a ton of anchovies. I could an extra large, everything. It was like $24.
The only time I've had pizza with anchovies, they really overdid the anchovies, and it was bad. It was just like eating salt. I mean, it was like eating salt. I wouldn't mind sprinkling of anchovies on a pizza with a bunch of other things, but yeah, a cheese and anchovy pizza, no thanks. I don't really want that. So anyway, kudos to Frankie's. They do have Pepsi products and beer, and they're going to be having subs soon, and the slot machines go in soon. But the soft opening happened last night. I think they're going to be open again tonight. Again, soft opening, not really advertising it, and working out the kinks before they start to advertise and bring in the people to New Milford, the great big village of New Milford, and the largest shopping center in New Milford, right there.
That's right.
Booyah. And as you already mentioned, we did the PAWS Golf Day on Monday. The weather was perfect for golf on Monday. We had so much fun. All the golfers that attended had a great time. Hopefully a lot of good money was raised for the organization. And please do it there again next year. Please have it back at Timber Point again next year. We love the course. Absolutely love that course.
That was one of the courses I've ever played on. I loved it. There were a fair amount of hills, but not much. Just enough. There was not a whole lot of there were a lot of trees. I think it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. There weren't so many, and I did lose 5 balls until like the 9th hole. Lost the first one, and then I lost 3 or 4 within 5 holes. So that was kind of bad though.
As a group, the 4 of us, I think maybe 2 balls got lost in water. I know 1 for sure did. I think maybe 2 lost in water.
At least 2. Coolidge lost 1 and Joann lost 1 in the water.
Yeah. Because there's, and that was really only that 1 hole that has the pretty big water hazard.
It was like 16 or 15 maybe.
Yeah,
15,
at the end.
Yeah.
I lost a couple in the woods and probably lost at least a half a dozen in the tall grass because there's a lot of prairie grass lining most of the holes. And that's where you're more likely to lose a ball is in the really tall grass where there's no way you're going to find it in there. It's just way too much. So yeah, as a whole, we did pretty good. We had no chance of winning the competition. And when you've got a team that can shoot, what did they shoot? 12 under par? No,
14, I think, because it was a par 72. Yeah. They had a 50.
Yeah, so 14 under par with 3 guys, and all 3 must have been really, really good golfers because they did a really good job. They weren't selling mulligans either. It was a straight up just best ball golf. So kudos to them. Garrett and his team, they did great. Had a couple of closings this week. Want to give shout outs to the Flood family. Congratulations on their new Milford house. That's right. They bought right here in the lovely town of New Milford. And then Miss Hobson, who bought the house. She's been renting in Rockford for the last 3 years. And yes, we do help with that too. She wasn't exactly sure if she wanted to buy it or not. We looked at a couple places and then she decided, you know what, the price I'm looking for and the location I want to be in, maybe we can work out a deal with the landlord. And I was able to do that for her. So that got closed yesterday for Miss Hobson. Congratulations to her. And our team sold on Tony this last week. After that golf day, after the golf outing on Monday, we had it was an ice cream day. Last Monday was National Ice Cream Sunday Day. So we were doing free ice cream in a neighborhood that was off of, what's it called? Roxbury and Parliament Road behind OSF, St. Anthony Medical Center. We were set up on the corner there of guys got an open lot there on the corner that he was letting us use as our home base for ice cream giveaway and rip your floats. And we had a good time giving away ice cream to the neighbors and folks out walking their dogs and walking with the kids and all that fun stuff. So that was cool and fun. And then I want to shout out to Chad, who was our guest last week from the Rockford Rivets. He hosted In Crowd on Thursday night. Weather was great, and I know a lot of people that wanted to show up wasn't able to. There's a lot of things going on Thursday night, and so the turnout we were expecting didn't quite hit the numbers we thought we would hit. But the people that showed up had a really great time. Met some new people. There was a couple of the folks that showed up. There was probably 4 or 5 that had never been there before, and a couple of them even mentioned they didn't even know the place existed because the Rivet Stadium, which it's been Rivet Stadium now for like 6 or 7 years. Prior to that, it was
Road Ranger
Aviators. Yeah, Road Ranger.
Road Ranger Stadium. It was the Aviators. Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to hear a little bit of the history of the park because it's been there like 16 years now already.
Here's what I can't figure out. Why is it so in there? Big sign out front. Rivet Stadium this way. There are no. If you think about it, it's been time for 20 years. It's been that way since they built the stadium. They put it back in, and then they built and it was a nightmare to get in at the beginning of the game, and it was a nightmare to get out at the end of the game. It's only recently that they're going in and coming out.
So basically, if you're going to Costco and you go and you hit that roundabout, instead of finishing the roundabout and turning left, you go straight, and that's where you'll find Rivet Stadium back there. There was, they had a sign out on Riverside early on when they built it. It was a fairly decent sign, but they need a bigger sign and a better sign to direct people back there. Chad was also reminding us too that this is a college league, and back in the day when the Rockford team, before it became the Rivets, when it was the Aviators or before that it was the Riverhawks teams, those were minor league teams that were mostly players on the downswing of their careers or rehabbing from injuries to get back into the major leagues. Yeah. And that was the kind of minor league ball we saw then. The players that you're seeing now with the Rivets, these are all college players on the upswing of their careers. You're seeing players that have a real shot of getting into the majors and being there for a long time. So it's a little bit more exciting to be knowing that you're seeing these college players that are truly getting a go at trying to get into the major leagues and have a shot at a long career. They're not there to rehab an injury. They're not there to try to resurrect a career that's already kind of dead. It's pretty exciting baseball. They're having a lot of fun with it at Rivet Stadium this weekend. They're out of town. Next weekend, when they're back in town, both Friday and Saturday nights, fireworks follow the games. Big time fireworks. There's a celebration. I forget what it is. 70th anniversary for a local company that's doing some fireworks on the Friday night, and then the Saturday night is basically the last home game of the season, and they'll be celebrating with big fireworks there as well. So
they always put on a really nice fireworks show.
Yeah, they do. So if you get a chance, check out the Rockford Rivets next weekend. And I am looking just to see, what am I missing here? I don't know. There you are. Any other shout outs for you this week, Tom, besides the golf?
Well, no. I'm sorry.
How was your trivia week this week?
I really thought about it.
A couple of games.
Yeah, trivia was interesting. We had a lot of fun. But every week's the same thing. You know, I give you the quiz that I administer because we don't have. I don't know if I told you this. This is weird. Maybe you can shed some light on this. You've heard of Ask and BMI, and there are a couple of others. Those are the watch music industry, and they make sure that you're paying your music publishing. Right, exactly. They make sure you're paying your dues. So, in other words, if you go to a bar or to DJ or anything like that, if the bar hasn't paid the dues to be able to play the music, you know, at Fleetwood, whoever, then they can be fined. And what's happening at one of the places, I'm not going to say which one, but what's happening at one of the places that I'm doing, somebody got wind that they were doing trivia and they were doing, musical events or whatever. So now they're kind of afraid that we cannot play music because they're going to get fined if somebody. So we've been doing an alternate audio round. It's kind of music related, like the one I gave you earlier. And it really is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. But my thought is, what an overreach. Who are they?
Well,
I mean, who
you're only
are
playing
they
music clips.
Well, no. True, I understand. Right, but I paid for them on Spotify. So my music thing, I download from Spotify and I play it there. Doesn't Spotify count as having paid licenses and all of that? I mean, I'm really, really confused by all this because they get to play Sirius because Sirius has paid for all. I'm pretty sure Spotify has as well.
Yeah. Well, that's when it comes to the public broadcast of music. I get it that the artists want to be paid, but how they get paid and when they get paid and all that other stuff, that's a challenge. It's a definite challenge. So, well, I am not hearing from our guest, so I'm not sure if she's going to be joining us here yet or not.
All right. Well, if we do have time, I will give you one quick shout out.
Okay.
All right. My buddy John, I don't know if you know him, Dr. John. He's Dr. Johnny Sunshine Pub Trivia at local establishments. One of the places he's been doing for probably a couple of years now. Well, he's been doing trivia for a couple of years, but for about maybe 6 months now, he's been doing it on Alpine. They have remodeled the place. They do trivia now every other Friday night. Every 2 weeks, every other Friday night. Next week is going to be regular trivia, and the following week is going to be oldies. Oldies bingo is what it's going to be. Oldies bingo. So I just wanted, but what I wanted to say is they're such a nice family and such a nice support local business. They are a local business. Just such a nice family, and they're really trying hard. And pizza is very, very good. So remember Alpine when you're out and about.
They're on South Alpine.
Yes.
Got
yes. Yeah, like 1115 South Alpine, something like that. Right next to that big Rock River bank building. Used to be Rock River Savings and Loan a long time ago. I don't remember what it is now.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Right on the street where you used to go back to Alpine Hills Golf, which is now Alpine
Hills. And
area,
for some of you old timers, it's the old last straw, which was still the last straw 20 years ago. 25 maybe.
Anyway.
Oh, I just wanted to put that out there.
We'll throw that out there. Let's look at some other stuff that's taking place here this weekend and see if our guest doesn't join us here in the next couple of minutes. Today's the big day for the City of Loves Park. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary, 75 years of Loves Park with a free community celebration. City's 75th anniversary, live music, food trucks, a car show, fireworks, all happening today from noon all the way up until 10:30 tonight. 100 Hart Boulevard in Loves Park, next to the City Hall. That's where the Young at Heart Festival is typically held. The first band hits the stage at 2:00. It's Bill and Jim's Excellent Acoustic Adventure. At 4:00, it's Rosie and the Rivets. 6:00, it's the Sensations. And at 8:00, it's Cashmere. They've got food trucks. Thai Jasmine, the Cluck Stops Here, Mario's Tacos, Uzo Street Kitchen, and some other ones as well. Car show from noon to 4, and the fireworks should begin right around 9:30, 9:40 p.m. after dark there. So celebrate 75 years of Loves Park with the big party today, all day long, starting at noon.
Now, I don't know if your notes here, Cashmere, is it a Led Zeppelin tribute band or what?
That's a good guess. I bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet it is.
Oh, I would go to see that. Absolutely.
This is kind of different. This is the first I've heard of this too. Our Ethnic Heritage Museum in Rockford, they're celebrating the 170th anniversary of the first railroad service to Rockford tomorrow, Sunday at 2:00. Linnell Canal is presenting the story of the Galena and Chicago Union Railroad. That was the first railroad in Chicago, which began service to Rockford August 2nd of 1852. And then this later would merge with the Chicago Northwestern Railway. The presentation is tomorrow at 2:15. So the doors open at 2. Presentation starts at 2:15 with Linnell. You'll actually hear about the directions where you can experience the actual locations of where the railroad went through town. It's a free presentation. Donations are greatly appreciated to support the Ethnic Heritage Museum, which of course is on Main Street in Rockford.
Check out the Ethnic Heritage Museum on Sunday. Doors open at 2. We talk a little bit about streaming services and stuff like that. And the NFL mentioned this week they're going to launch its own streaming service. Guess what it's going to be called, Tom?
Oh, I saw this. I don't remember.
It's like everything else, NFL Plus.
There you go.
Really?
NFL.
NFL First and 10.
Disney
NFL something, I don't know. NFL. They went with the simplicity of it. I get it. $4.99 a month or $39.99 a year. NFL Plus will give subscribers access to their in-market Sunday afternoon games and the national games on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. A premium version of the service will be an additional $5 a month, which will feature full replays and bird's eye views of games like the GMs use to analyze plays, which that's one of those things they should do all the time, I think. Bird's eye view of the plays. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, now here's my question. In market games, we're in the bear market. Bear games on 539 or even on CBS sometimes, depending. I don't need that. I get that. I want Packer games so that you and I, as much as I love going to the sports bar with you, Legends, Oscars, and by the way, let's plan that again. But I would rather see it in my living room. If it's NFL Plus, what's the plus for me? If I can't see my Packer game.
I think the way that this is worded is you're getting access to all the games. It's letting you know that you can also get your in-market games. You won't be shut out of seeing your local team.
Then I will
for buyout stuff.
We'll pay the $40. I will absolutely, and I will get the Packer game.
But who's going to pay the extra $5? So basically $10 a month or $80 a year, so that you can get the full replays and bird's eye views of games. I don't know. That's just, I want to see that.
I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. You can see that on NFL Network. You can see it on ESPN on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The NFL Today, or the NFL, I forgot what they call it on NFL Now. I believe they call it on NFL Network. And, so.
Probably what they should have called the app, NFL Now. I don't know. NFL Live, NFL something, but so the new streaming service.
All those names are taken.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's funny. I guess nobody can corner the market on Plus. You can't corner the market on the Plus side.
Yeah, because the NFL is the trademark side. So NFL Plus. It'd be like Saturday morning Stateline,
Ooh, there we go. Time to start making money, Tom. Subscribers.
That's right. $5 a show.
What can we give people for $4.99 a month? Overhead views of our heads. There we go. Woo! Look at the camera up here.
You don't want that.
No.
You'll see my cat right here. My cat is right here.
There you go.
And she won't leave me alone.
Ooh, the cat cam. We could do a cat cam.
There you go, cat.
That'd get people subscribing.
Yeah.
All right, here's some randoms for you before we get to Joann over at PAWS. Mattel, the global toy behemoth Mattel, they are partnering with SpaceX to roll out a toy line modeled after the company's launch vehicles. The first toys expected to launch next year under the Mattel's Matchbox line. I wonder if that's a hint as to how small they're going to be, like a Matchbox car size. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on that yet, but we'll look for that next year. The Pokemon Company is looking for an archivist to build an internal archive and museum. This gig will pay between $77,000 and $118,000 a year. But more importantly, you'll get to put Pokemon Historian on your LinkedIn profile. So good luck with that.
Wow. Yeah, dating profile.
Tom's probably correct on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of dating, a recent study revealed 30% of spouses, 30%, about 1 out of 3, do not have a clue as to how much their mate earns for a living.
Wow.
I found almost a third of spouses do not know how much. Don't you file your taxes together if you're married? I would think you'd kind of have a clue then.
How do you do the bills together? How do you, I mean, that's weird.
That's an interesting study. I'd like to dig deeper in that maybe.
Yeah, those are stats that I look at and go, yeah, okay, I don't know. I don't think so. I doubt it.
Well, I don't doubt it. I really don't doubt it because I know some people do not combine their money. So some couples choose to have separate financial accounts. So I know I've talked to those people. I'm like, okay, if that works for you, good for you. That's not.
I get that part of it. I get that part of it, but how does a wife not know that her husband makes 160 grand a year, or does she think he makes 80 grand? He's an engineer with such and such. I don't know. It's odd to me. Very odd.
It's a good conversation there. And then we've got a couple more things. Speaking of money, since 1990, the number of billionaires in the United States went from 66. There was a total of 66 back in 1990. Today, there's over 700 billionaires. And yet you've probably heard this stat. If we took all the money from all the billionaires in the United States, we could still only fund the government for like 3 days or something crazy like that. So yeah, that's billionaires are not the problem in the United States. In case you're wondering, it's not the billionaires. They're not the problem. All right. California consumer. Do you want to join a civil suit? The California consumer is suing Mars Incorporated, the candy company. Do you know why they're suing them, Tom? Have you heard about this?
Because they are named after a planet. I don't.
No. It's about Skittles. They make Skittles.
Skittles. I heard this. It's something about they make the allergic reaction, or they did something. I don't remember.
Well, they are claiming that Skittles are unfit for human consumption.
That's right.
Due to titanium dioxide.
There you go.
There's a chemical in the Skittles called titanium dioxide, and Mars is countering that it is FDA compliant, but titanium dioxide, apparently it's in about a half dozen or so other products, and the European countries don't allow, I believe they don't allow that chemical to be in any foods, but in the US apparently it is okay. So if you're someone who eats a lot of Skittles, you might want to back off on that. It's not really good for you. Besides the sugar, the titanium dioxide, yeah, that might be a problem for you. So just a thought. All right. And we're going to, Joann, I think Joann's getting ready to join us here. She's fixing her camera. Got her glasses. What are you doing?
No, I was looking for Skittles.
You're looking for Skittles?
No, I only found M&Ms.
Oh, yeah. Do I have I don't have any Skittles.
No Skittles.
I do have some Lifesavers.
What is that?
So I got some Lifesavers hard candy here.
Oh,
the Tropicals flavors. I haven't opened the pack yet, though. This has been down here for probably 3 years.
I have her cat.
I was looking in the candy dish for Skittles now that you were talking. I don't usually eat Skittles.
Yeah, don't eat.
Tom's teasing the cat.
If you do eat the Skittles, just have a couple, just because whatever. But don't eat them now.
Well,
all right. So before we get to all things PAWS,
on titanium, I am kind of low on. I'm gonna try.
You need some titanium dioxide in your system. Oh,
so he's gonna eat some Skittles. I just have M&Ms.
No, thank you.
Oh, hey, jackpot! Pot. I do have candy.
Ooh.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, there's your breakfast right there.
Dumbest tag. Not sorry. Whatever.
Read the ingredients
now
on there.
Now we have to pay money to all these companies.
What's the
Yeah.
weirdest ingredient in that on that package? I don't want
What
to
do
hear
you
this.
think
I like Reese's peanut butter cups, so I'm afraid he's going to read something that will cause me never to
No,
eat them
I
again.
don't know. Yeah, something. I can't read it. It's too small. Eyes too bad. I'm too old.
Magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing. A weird smell that you're willing to admit that you actually enjoy. And I'll give you a few that I wrote down here. A weird smell that you're willing to admit you actually enjoy. Sawdust. I really like the smell of sawdust. That makes me kind of feel good, nostalgic about things. WD-40
That's weird.
is one of the other weird smells I kind of enjoy. That smell when you first light a match, when it burns off the sulfur stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
That
But I don't
initial, and then a freshly
weird smell because.
why not?
Go ahead. What's that?
Was he giving it?
When you freshly open a can of tennis balls,
Oh,
it's a weird smell. It's a weird smell, but it's like, fresh tennis balls. This is going to be a fun time.
What is it's old. I know that's an old, but in the olden days when I was in school and the teacher used to take things right off the mimeograph machine, what that smell, you would take your test paper and go,
Oh, yeah.
It's
I don't remember what that was, but
like
oh my God, we
carbon
all
or
got
whatever.
high on
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, carbon paper was what I was thinking too, but it's a different thing. It's a different smell.
It's mimeograph.
The mimeograph,
It's
because
when
it's a
they
little bit
run-
warm.
I know but it was a good smell.
Well, it's the ink that they use, and I don't know what they call it.
Well, yeah, whatever it was. And I kind of like, and I know this sounds strange, as long as I'm not close, I like the smell in the air of a skunk.
from far away.
Wow.
the
Far away, yeah. I'm like,
the
oh,
hinting.
it's a skunk.
There's a
So
difference
give me
between
that paper and
fresh
skunk.
close and you're far away.
Yeah, you don't want to be real. Cut grass.
As long as
for
I'm
me.
not close.
Yeah,
Fresh cut grass.
fresh
It
cut
reminds me of
grass.
because when I played football today, we obviously they would mow our field that probably the day. Well, we had practice all week, so they'd mow it on a Monday or whatever, and then all week long you're smelling the fresh grass. It gets to be the kind of sunset, a little darker. It starts to come up. You get a little dewy and this and that, and you can smell it. And I don't know. It just always brings back good memories for me. So that's a good smell to me, though. But you were talking about bad smells. I don't know. Bad smells are bad
No,
smells.
just weird smells.
No,
Weird smells.
no,
Yeah.
it smells that other people might find bad, but you enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Because there is like I said, like when you freshly open a can of tennis balls, I could see why someone would think, ugh, that's a nasty smell. But if you associate it with the game that you're about to play and how fun it is to play, it's like, oh, hey, this means a good thing's about to happen. And these are fresh tennis balls, so they're really going to bounce. You really got to play them like, because they're going to bounce. They're going to bounce nice and high. So, a couple more things real quick. Your last chance to catch Dreamgirls is tonight and tomorrow night at Starlight Theater. If you have not yet seen Dreamgirls, I tell you what, the whole first act is just on fire. The singing and the dancing and the choreography, the scene changes, it's amazing. Each voice sounds like it's been recorded and it's live. They're just so good. So if you get a chance, Dreamgirls is tonight at 8. Last chance to catch it is tomorrow night at 8:00 at Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. You can get tickets when you walk up to the box office. The show starts at 8, so get there at 7:30, 7:20. Get your ticket. There's not a bad seat in the house. It's a great show. You're really, really going to enjoy it. The Japanese. She starred in a version of Dreamgirls a couple years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
that was one of her things. So is it the same on that or what?
It's that musical. Yes. And our gal Evandia nails the Jennifer Hudson role. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, and there's been a few other voices there that I had not seen on Starlight Stage before that were like, wow, you guys got to be in shows every year. Just absolutely amazing. Today and tomorrow, the Japanese Summer Festival is being celebrated at the Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford. Today and tomorrow from 10 to 3:30. It's $11 entrance for adults, 10 for seniors, 9 for students and military, free for premium garden members. The Japanese Summer Festival is celebrating the rich traditions and culture of Japan through performances, exhibits, and family-friendly activities located within the uplifting setting of the Japanese gardens. All kinds of different performances, activities, and vendors. That's at the world-famous Anderson Japanese Gardens today and tomorrow, 10 to 3:30 each day. And if you haven't voted yet, the Best of Rockford, the Rockford Rocks is online right now through the Rockford Register Star page, and vote for your favorites. Right now, I don't remember what the cutoff date is, but it's probably in a week or two. So get those votes in. One last thing, as we mentioned, Mary Poppins is this weekend at the Byron Civic Theater, which is being performed in Byron Middle School. Tonight at 7 and tomorrow at 2, your last 2 chances to catch Mary Poppins, who is practically perfect in every way. And she's really good. Yeah. So check out Mary Poppins tonight or tomorrow afternoon. I think that's everything that I have on my plate. Joann, are we looking at PAWS today?
Quiet.
Yeah,
I
was
think
gonna
that
say
we've
it's
got
quiet.
dogs, but I think they're still outside.
Oh,
They didn't bring them in today, and I'm not trying to go outside again. That didn't work
Yeah.
too good.
We learned a couple weeks ago your signal ends as soon as you walk out the door.
So
That's kind of a bummer. You need a better Wi-Fi. A
well,
Wi-Fi.
maybe the building is
Yeah, it's a pretty solid building.
must be, but we do have. So we don't have any dogs in the building.
No dogs in the
And
building right now.
I think I heard Greg talking about it before I came on about how, look at this list. I don't know if I can get it close enough. This, and we have 2 days. Well, we don't open
Today.
on Sunday, but we have still today. This is our list of adopted dogs and cats. So cats have been really going this.
Thank you,
3,
everybody.
4, 5,
That's
6,
wonderful.
7, 13 dogs. So it's quite a list there.
That's
So
wonderful.
super. Because I thought they said 1 month was slow. But I can't remember if that was May or June. But certainly June was slow. So July has certainly made up for it. Oh, this is Ember. My goodness, Ember, I didn't recognize you. This was my foster. Nice cat, but just still here. She was found in one of my friends' backyard, and they said, you find a cat, you call Joann. That's not really true, though. Just a beautiful cat. I think this was the pet of the week last week, maybe. Beautiful eyes. And then she's bonded with the white one. Ooh, some orange kitties running around here. Are you gonna feed us? Look at this beautiful cat.
Mealtime.
Her sister doesn't know it's feeding time. She's in the other part of the room. So she's eating everything. I love calicos. They're so pretty.
Yeah, they are.
And then the community room. That one's getting out. Here, wait, look at this for a pose.
Oh.
Take me home.
Gosh.
I need to relax at your house. What is this? Emoji. It said, I was surrendered due to kids suffering from allergies. She's an older cat, but looks very sweet. Probably thinking of how she can bite my head off. Yes.
Where's my tasty treat?
Yeah, very sweet. That's kind of our quick run through.
Hello.
That one looks a little exotic. Izzy. So it's kind of neat that July was so busy.
What an awesome month for PAWS Humane Society. Very, very nice.
And then
Very
Tom
cool.
can look at the candy.
Hey, Joann,
No Skittles. What?
What's the scuttlebutt about the what's the word on the golf outing? Were they pleased?
I haven't heard anything.
Well, you probably heard
And
us
I haven't-
talking earlier that our vote is to please keep it at Timber Point because we really
Yeah,
enjoy
I heard that was
Yeah.
really a nice place to have it.
Yeah.
The weather,
Very,
the weather couldn't have been better.
right.
Oh, I know.
Speaking of weather, one last thing. Hopefully the weather's good tomorrow for I met a new friend here at In Crowd Thursday night, and Sean was promoting the it's called the We Are In This Together Suicide Awareness Prevention Ride at Woodstock Harley Davidson. This is happening tomorrow. Where are we here? Sunday, July 31st. Registration at 10. Kickstands up at noon. They end at the Rockford Speedway. Police escorted. All types of legal motor vehicles are welcome. Fundraise, music, and more. The We Are In This Together Suicide Awareness Prevention Ride is tomorrow. Kickstands up at noon at the Woodstock Harley Davidson, and they're making their way to the Rockford Speedway. So you see a great big huge line of motorcycles. That's what they're doing tomorrow afternoon, and the Speedway is a part of that tomorrow. I don't know if you can. This is what he gave me right there. Sunday, July 31st. That's tomorrow. So should be a good day for that. All right, let's do our big number of the week this week. What do you say? We've got a big number, and it is 1.5 billion. That's right, 1.5 billion. And this week's answer is Buffett or Bags. Buffett or Bags. Our current score is 8-5. Joann, her commanding lead cut a little bit last week. So we'll find out what happens now with this week's answer. Buffett or Bags? Give me your answer, please. 3, 2, 1, go.
Buffett.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So Joann's going with Buffett, and Tom is going with Bags.
That's right.
So that means I've got to change the score. And Margaritaville. You know the Margaritaville Empire, right?
Yep.
Jimmy Buffett started in 1985. Yep. Jimmy Buffett opened a retail store with that name. It wasn't a bar, it was just a retail store. But in 1999, Buffett and business partner John Colehan opened up a 20,000 square foot Margaritaville restaurant at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Lots of expansion happened after that. The portfolio now includes 33 hotels, resorts, other lodging concepts, and 150 restaurants, bars, and cafes. The company in 2019 brought in $1.5 billion. Yes, that's a huge, huge, huge company. And that gives Joann a lead now of 9-5 in our race to 10.
Yay.
The bag story has to do with airlines. They're not having a good time. On top of canceled and delayed flights, mishandled bags are up 135% year over year. Last I heard, if you're transferring through Atlanta, your chances of losing a bag are about 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 or something crazy like that. So it's bad.
Now, I've never been involved in the airline. I don't see why it would be that. So you grab the bags in the B bag, and put them on here and move them over to there. How hard can I know?
As someone who's been through the Atlanta airport this year, we lost a bag. And the reason was when you do your airline transfer, you, the passenger, are required to take your bag off the carousel and put it in the other area where it goes to the next plane. They're not just doing that for you. You have to do that. And when we got to the carousel to check our bags, one of our bags was already missing. Someone took one of our bags and walked off with it. And then somewhere at some point said, oh, this isn't our bag. And they just left it at the airport. And it wasn't in the right spot for our next connecting flight. So that was upsetting.
Did you ever get it back?
We did get it back. And here's the funny thing. We flew in and out of Milwaukee as our starting and stopping location. They flew the bag to Milwaukee, and we had a ticket that said they were going to get it to us here in Rockford. And so they have a DoorDash type service for bags. But instead of driving it from Milwaukee, it ended up on a plane to Minneapolis and then to O'Hare, and then they drove it to us from O'Hare.
Wow.
So we got it about 3 days later. It wasn't terrible, but it was just funny that they, instead of driving it from Milwaukee, which was not much farther than it is from O'Hare, a tiny few more miles, but not much, they flew it to Minneapolis and then to O'Hare, and then they drove it to us. So
the bag had more fun than you did.
The bag had a blast.
Well, my bags have been to Minnesota.
Right? That was fun. So,
yeah.
Anywho, I think that's going to wrap up our show for this week. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone today and all week long. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another Saturday morning Stateline show. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Joann.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week, everybody.